The holder pull up, play with a G-spot. Yeah. Gangsta on the internet, but in public, they don't mean no harm. How the fuck they can't see Rico was scheming? H played the whole card. That nigga in your main bitch DM is supposed to be your boy. I ain't never doubted one.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in again to the Zen Room. Appreciate you guys. Today I have another special guest. We have Kay from She Orgasms. How are you?
Hi.
How have you been?
I've been really blessed.
Blessed.
Yeah.
I love to hear blessed.
Content. Peaceful.
Life, enjoying life,
Yeah.
being happy.
It took a minute to get here. You
Yeah.
know, the journey of going through hormones. But once you make it out, and it's like, wow.
Right.
I can see it.
You can see again. I'm alive again.
I can see the truth.
Because you just recently had a baby.
Yes. July 15th.
Yes. He is so adorable, you guys. He has the biggest cheeks ever. I love him.
Full of smiles, full of love, full of peace.
Yes. Just bring out more into you, right? That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So let's talk a little bit about She Orgasms. And she's not crying, y'all.
I just
promise.
really, this allergies, but it's like winter. So like,
Why am I tearing up?
why do I have allergies?
No, she's shedding that tear because she loves her bundle of joy.
Yeah.
But no, let's get into talking about what is She Orgasms,
Okay.
what it's about, how did you establish it? Because you're the founder of She Orgasms. So let's get into it.
Okay. So ultimately, She Orgasms is here to help women connect with all of their senses during intimacy. So that way they can really surrender into the orgasm and not really perform.
Okay.
You know, if you're performing, you're not orgasming.
Okay.
Because it's vibrationally just not possible.
Okay.
In order for the orgasm to exist in your body, there has to be stillness.
Okay.
So our products helps women calm their mind, relax their body, increase that lubrication, heighten the sensitivity, give you that total body arousal. It does everything you need in order to just lay back and let your body do what it naturally is born to do. And we interfere with it by doing all the extra stuff, you know? And a lot of women, they live their lives for a long time dedicating it to the pleasure of the man.
Right.
And not really putting their pleasure first. So we're really big on helping women realize that she comes first. That is our mantra. She comes first. In every way possible.
Okay.
You know, in all ways. She does come first. And then we help people realize that sexuality and spirituality go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And a lot of people separate the two so that you never find your divinity.
Okay.
You know, that's the society we live in. You know, they want you to be afraid of sexuality, think spirituality is witchcraft, so that you can never find the truth and fullness of who you are.
Of who you really are.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So it started 2017. November 2017 is when I held my trial. And I had a bunch of women test out the product. I had made some samples because I had a lot of women coming to me as I was a sex blogger.
Okay.
And they were like, girl, ain't nobody having sex like this. Like, you're giving a lot of details and it is not happening like that. And I'm like, what? I thought everyone was having just really amazing intimacy sessions.
No, people usually just fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I was one of them people thinking that I was having orgasms. Like, girl, he made me orgasm, blah, 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 blah. But then it was like, but I'm still unfulfilled.
Okay.
If you're having true capital O orgasms, you're fulfilled for days, for weeks. But if you're just fucking, like you say, it's going to be, you're going to want something else right after. You're going to want something the next day. You're going to want something to keep on giving you that stimulation because it wasn't long lasting. It was empty sex.
Gotcha.
You know? So the trial went great. The women loved it. And I was like, all right, bet.
This is what it is. This is what it is.
So I had to get another job because I was working an office job at the time. And I ended up bartending so I can save up some money to start my own business.
Right.
And I think I saved up maybe, it wasn't even that much. It was like $2,000. And I bought 150 bottles and everything to make about 150 bottles out the door.
Okay.
And I went on a podcast, the Cocktails podcast in Atlanta. And I gave them some samples because I was going on there for my sex blog, not She Orgasms. Okay. That didn't exist yet.
Okay.
But I was like, here's some products that I'm working on, and just let me know.
Try them out.
I want y'all to try them out for free. And one of the girls, Kiki, loved it. Ooh. I mean, she has such an amazing experience from it. So she would just casually talk about it on her platform. So people are like, what are these pills you're talking about? What is this? What are these she-gasms? That's what everybody was calling it. She-gasms.
She-gasms.
So at first I was like, it is not she-gasms, but I kind of like it. It's a little short nickname. So then it kind of, my 150 bottles went away. Okay. I mean, they sold so quickly.
Wow.
So then I re-upped and I re-upped and I re-upped.
And she kept re-upping.
And I kept re-upping, and then here we are today, and the brand has shifted as I've shifted. Okay. So in the beginning, it was very much hot girl summer, put it on them,
Yes, we're out here living it
up. But that was me living in my wounded feminine energy. Okay. I was very much in my toxic masculine energy, my wounded feminine energy, and I did not understand the depth of my divinity.
So when you say your toxic masculinity, was that like fuck niggas?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had no feelings.
Okay. Fuck niggas, get money is me. Okay.
They were up.
That was it.
It was like I had literally no feelings. Okay. And now it's so
and you didn't even realize that it was like that.
Right. I'm thinking like this is normal. Like, this is just how I am. Some women are like this. Some women are like this. And I feel like obviously that's true, but it's all evolution. Okay. You should not stay there for your whole life. That should not be where you want to be. It's fun and it's necessary for your growth and it's necessary
to find out who you are.
Exactly. But so many women stay there their whole lives.
And they're missing out on a lot.
They're missing out on so much. And you don't realize it until you get out of it. And I'm telling women, I have been through every single phase of a woman's life. I feel like I was put here on earth to be the divine example of a woman, because there is not one. And when I say a divine example, I mean a woman who is in her sexuality, in her spirituality, and in her individuality. Okay. And there's not really a woman that we can look up to that's owning all three of those in a very beautiful, sacred way. And that's why I feel like I'm coming into her. So when I'm only 32. And the fact that I've reached where I've reached by 30 is actually astonishing to me. Because when I tell you where I'm at mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, a lot of people never reach this place.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
The mind can really take control of someone and leave them miserable and struggling and in repetitive cycles. And it's like you have to one day be so over it that you want more than you don't. You know what I mean?
Like, no, I get it. No, seriously. Because if you think about it, when someone, people will be like, get out of your mind, get out your own mind, try to explore different things or do different things and just be different, period, or just trying new things. Yeah. When you're stuck in that realm of just, like you said, repeated cycle, doing the same things over again, not getting out, not, what could I say?
Not opening up.
Opening up, exactly. Not willing to even change.
Yeah. People don't realize like attracts like. You're a vibrational match to everything you receive.
And I'm big on that.
I'm big on that. So a lot of women are like, it's fuck niggas, my guard is up. You're only going to receive people who also have their guard up.
Fuck bitches.
Exactly. Who's not about, love and family and vulnerability.
Exactly.
So you're like, oh, I always meet the same type of men. I'm always in the same situation.
Because you're doing the same thing. You're not
same-
doing anything different.
Come on now.
You're not doing anything different. So how are you going to find something different? Like, seriously, let's talk about it. It's not mathing. You out here in the club, popping pussy, doing whatever, and I'm not judging anyone.
Not
that
at
is
all.
not a judgment, because we all
It's
been there where
necessary.
we out dancing and having fun and meeting niggas in the club or whatever the case may be. That's life.
Yep.
But if you're not like willing to try something different, why would you attract something different?
Or hear a new perspective.
Or hear a different perspective
just
of it.
hear it. Just receive it without comparison.
Exactly.
If you can receive a perspective without comparing it to your own experience, you're able to grow.
Exactly.
And girl, I just said that for the first time, and it was a word. And I mean, because it's so real. Like, a lot of people don't listen with curiosity, and they don't listen with like wanting to understand how someone else could have gotten to that conclusion.
Like, how did you get there?
Right. They're like, well, for me, you know, I just
Right.
And it's like, but we're not doing
But
that.
that's the automatic defensive
That's
mode.
the automatic defensive mode. It's like, I'm not telling you something because I want you to be different. I'm telling you something because I want you to hear it.
Hear it.
So that when you have the experience, it resonates. Because it ain't going to resonate until you have the
Till you have the experience.
Exactly.
And I actually teach that to my daughter now, with certain things. So I always tell her, or my kids, period, y'all may not understand what I'm saying now, but I'm going to be that voice and put it in your brain, because when you come across this in life, a light bulb is going to go off, and you could be like, you know what? My mother sure said something.
That's why she always
That's
told
why
me.
she said that, and I'm preparing you. So when you hear me constantly saying something or telling you something, you don't have to agree or even understand what I'm telling you right then and there, but just try to keep that somewhere in your brain. So when you come across that situation and later on in life, you got it there. It's going to be a light bulb. You're not going to be too oblivious of the situation. You're going to have some type of familiar.
Yeah.
Something familiar with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you have to be able to open up. You have to be able to be willing. Because I was actually listening to, it was a clip of a podcast. And the woman was saying how she need a man. Like, and she was saying, why are people so big on not wanting to have a significant other? And why is it so, when has it become so popular to be on fuck nigga shit, or you don't need a man for nothing, or you don't have to do this and you don't need that. You can do everything on your own. As a human being, we cannot do everything on our own.
Yeah.
I personally don't feel like a person can go through life alone.
No, I don't. And they don't really want to. I think the whole trend of that is so that people can just feel good with where they're at. You know, like, you have to say the things and do the things so that you can be content with your story. So if you just aren't finding a man that you feel is worthy enough or good enough, you know, you're going to result to, I don't need no man. I'm happy. You know, I'm going to be the fun auntie. You know, I don't want no kids. You're going to keep that energy because you feel like that's your story. So you're going to be okay with that. But until you get a different story, then your whole
Outlook on it,
your whole
is
outlook
different.
is going to change. You're going to be like, see, I used to think that, because if you were to ask me 6 years ago, if I were to have a baby, I would have told you no. That's just not something that I see for myself.
Right.
You know, but
And at that time, it's nothing wrong with
and
that.
at that time, there was nothing wrong with that, because that was the journey that I had to be on. That was the mentality that I had to have, so that I can now. You gotta go through what you don't want in order to know what you do want. So
And that's a fact.
it is. So that's why it's okay that some of these women are doing this, but it's not okay when you're doing it forever. You gotta read, you gotta learn, you gotta grow, you gotta want more, you know, and they think that, you know, they have to look outside themselves for more. They're like, well, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna get a new job, I'm gonna get this surgery, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna buy a new wardrobe, all these external frivolous things that aren't going to make any actual impact.
Because nothing on the inside has changed. So why is it going to
change on the outside?
On the outside. Exactly. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So women really have to dive in. They have to really, like, if you are not coming from love in every aspect of your life, there's wounds that need to heal. And a lot of people think they don't have any. They think they are just good. And it's like, well, you can't be, because you're not love.
Right.
You're not equivalent to God yet. God, goddess, the universe, none of them. You don't have that energy that people look at you and they just feel bliss. They just feel comfort. They feel love. And it's like, if you don't have to go all the way there. You don't have to be equivalent.
Right.
But you should want to become a version of yourself that is pure, without any of the conditioning, without understanding your ancestral suffering, without understanding your pain, without understanding the stuff that you got from your mother and your father. Like, you really got to dive into all that. You may think you have a good relationship with your mom and your dad. And I felt like I have a good relationship with my mother, but I still have mother wounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I love my mom to death. She's so dope.
Right.
But there's things that she did not learn through her journey that she had passed on to me. So now I have to learn beyond
what
so that I can break those generational curses. I don't want to be, we have a lot of aunties. You know what I mean? My son got so many aunties, he can have an auntie team, what Kanye say. But it's like, because we don't see a lot of marriages work out where Black love is actually built on a solid foundation, and it's coming from pure, vulnerable, unconditional love. And that is how the orgasm actually is manifested. Yeah, you gotta have love, has to be present in order for the orgasm to manifest.
And I was I touched on this topic a little bit on my last episode when I was like when we were speaking on it. I said something to the effect like, I don't even know if I was just having a conversation. I'm always talking. But I was just saying how it's hard for me to just literally not have a connection with someone in order to be sexually connected with them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I can't like just literally go out and just fuck somebody and be okay. And what, you know what I mean? Like, I have to have some type of connection with you and feel something in order for me to feel something. Otherwise, it's nothing. It's almost non-existent.
Yeah, that's why so many women don't feel pleasure from penetration. That's why a lot of clitorises need those 700-volt
toys that's diving at them, and
that's going 10 million miles per hour just to give you that release that you're looking for. All of that is really overstimulation and unnecessary, but it's only because there's a disconnect to love. And whether that's self-love, external love, all the love, you know what I mean? There's a disconnect. And you can do those things without connection, but and you may come. You may squirt. You may even have some female ejaculation going on.
Right.
But you will not reach the capital big O orgasm.
I don't know if I've reached the capital big O of orgasm yet, y'all. Especially the way she's talking about over here. I'm trying to figure that out. I want to get to that place. But I'm also scared.
No, it is scary because the crazy thing about it, and this is how the orgasm becomes spiritual, the capital O orgasm. So when you reach that connection, that energy, is equivalent to where yogis want to reach through meditation. It's equivalent to where you go on psychedelics.
Okay.
You can heal when you have orgasms because you're receiving downloads.
Okay.
Everything is like still. You're meditating basically. That's why I'm saying surrender to the orgasm, because once you surrender, you receive. And so I get all these nuggets while I'm having sex. That's why I got a journal after sex. I mean, just epiphany.
A journal?
Girl, a journal. I'd be like, hold on, I'm so sorry. I got to write this down.
Oh my God, wait a minute.
Because you receive such greatness after
you just gotta tell somebody or say something out loud, so you just put it in the notebook.
But it'd be random. It's not even associated with sex. Once I got a download about someone being deceitful, you know, in my life and who it was. And like, it's almost like you get access to your guides, your spirit guides. You get access to information that you would speak to a psychic to get, or you would speak to your future self.
It's like a whole nother world.
It's a whole nother world. You know, you see stars, you see fractal patterns. You feel like you're floating. You feel glitter all over your body. Like you connect with, but you also have to have a partner who's gonna go there with you.
I was just gonna say, so like, how do you like, because in order to reach, okay, let's back it up a little bit. Let's back it up. So a lot of females and males, we know about coming, right?
Yeah.
So explain, like, okay, there's coming, someone who's, I don't even know what word I'm looking for, but I know so you have an intercourse, you're fucking, you're having sex, you're making love, whatever. So then the person reaches their peak, right? So that some of us use the term come, some of us use the term orgasm, squirting. And I mean, because I feel like right now squirting is a thing. Right now, I just feel like I hear it a lot when I'm like in the social media. I'm looking at all these young girls and they're all talking about like, oh yeah, I squirt this and this and that and the third. I've even seen people post pictures of their sheets being wet because they're trying to. So I just feel like I know it's been out, but I feel like it's a thing now. Everybody wants to get to that point.
Yes, because it seems like the it thing to make your man sexually happy.
Right.
So women are forcing squirt, which is pee. Squirting is involuntary. If you have to force it or push it out, you're peeing. It should be something that your body does.
Y'all hear that, right? Y'all forcing this shit, or y'all pissing on these niggas? Y'all pissing on the bed. Y'all just pissing.
You are hilarious. Okay. But squirt does have traces of urea in it. Like, it does have components of what is in urine, but it's also very much diluted because it's releasing in a certain way. So coming is your natural, like your arousal fluids, you know, seeping through your walls, your secretions coming from your cervix, whether it, you know, depending on where your menstrual cycle is going to change the consistency of your arousal fluids. Right. So some days it might be real egg whitey and like stringy, or then it might be creamy and like a little opaque and sticky, or it might just, you know, it just changes. Right. So that's what people kind of think is what coming is. It's just your secretions coming out from being aroused. Okay. That's why when you're too much in your head, your vagina is going to dry up because now there's a disconnect from your brain to produce those fluids. Right. You know? Right. And then female ejaculation is a whole nother level beyond coming, beyond squirting, where it's very much similar to male's ejaculation fluid. You know, that's going to propel out as well. Okay. And seep out, kind of like a honey. Okay. Like, it just depends on what you're doing, because you can squirt, ejaculate, come, orgasm all at the same time if you've gotten to that level, or you can just do one or the other, two at a time, whatever the case may be. Right. But your vagina is a magical portal. You know, it's gonna do a lot.
It's magical, ladies.
Listen,
it's magical.
It is. I mean, we birth humans through that portal. You have to think something is more sacred, right? You know what I mean? Right. So
it's delicate,
and women have to detox from their past unloving sexual experiences. Like, if it was done out not in love, you have to detox that out of your womb space. You have to get rid of that, or you're not going to be able to reach those heights that you want to reach.
Yeah, because, okay, we all know the mind is a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
So if you can't control your mind, your thoughts, or anything like that during sex, then, like you said, you're not going to reach that potential because you're overthinking or you're trying to overcome maybe some trauma that you've had in past relationships or in your life period.
Yeah, shame, guilt.
Guilt, not feeling comfortable, embarrassment, whatever the case may be.
Religion fucks up a lot of people because they have a lot of shame behind bringing themselves pleasure. And it's like, you deserve this. There's no shame behind you wanting pleasure. That's like, besides birthing, that is what your clit is there for.
To pleasure you.
You know what I mean? So girl, get that pleasure. And but that's why our products actually work, and we're
here for the pleasures.
We are always here for the pleasure.
Always here for the pleasures.
And that's why it's such a huge market, because there's so many women who aren't being satisfied. Men aren't allowing that 35, 40 minutes of foreplay to even warm up the yoni. Like, the walls aren't even engorged. They're not swollen and warm, before someone tries to penetrate. So by time they are getting to a good rhythm and the vagina is finally getting aroused, the man is just now ending. So they have to get it warm way before inserting themselves, so that she can reach where she needs to go.
And that's where all the foreplay and
that's why it's so
everything
important.
is important, because that's basically stemming the woman up,
getting her hard.
Yeah, exactly. Getting her hard like a male would get hard before he enters.
Yeah.
And then once that enter happens, then what's the next level?
So then once you are aroused and you're ready, and there's, penetration, and the best missionary position is like a sliding one. Like, you're not poking, you're not just stroking. It's a glide effect where you're like, because you'll
motion
be able
in the ocean.
You'll be able to brush up against the clitoris while you're also giving that penetration.
Yes.
So that's giving you that double arousal.
Okay.
Now, a man's stamina also has a lot to do with a woman's orgasm. If he can't last and can't keep on going to get you where you need to get, then there's going to be frustration. She's going to be left unsatisfied. So he has to really have that stamina, and there's like levels of hardness. You know what I mean? He wants to be as hard as he can be, so that he can reach different crevices and pockets.
Because there are different. There are, like, seriously. Now listen, hold on now, because I'm 40. Okay.
Amen.
And I just recently started feeling these different crevices and areas and stuff in myself that I've never felt before. And it took me to a place of pleasure or bliss or whatever, satisfaction.
Especially if they keep on hitting that spot.
Yeah, because I didn't know that it was even there. I didn't even know it was a thing. And so just having my husband be able to take me to a place that I've never been before makes me feel even more like, oh my fucking God, I love you.
Exactly. You want to just worship them.
Yes.
You just want to do all the
because
things
you
and love
found
on
something
them.
about me that I didn't even know was there, that I didn't even know existed. Like, and I said this before, I don't like when sex feel like it's a chore.
Yeah, and a lot of women feel like that. That's what I got all the time. Women feeling like it's a chore, especially in marriages. Oh, it's so sad to hear.
I don't want it ever to feel like a chore.
No.
But I see you have 2 products here.
Yes, that's my stash.
This
bottle.
is the sensual enhancement supplements.
Yes.
Now this is for
so those supplements do all the things. Like, so that's really getting your body prepared to receive the ultimate level of pleasure in which you're ready for.
Okay.
So not everybody is ready for the same level of pleasure.
Okay.
And that's a good point. I think people need to know when they're taking the products.
Okay.
Because the orgasm that we talk about on the platform takes time.
Okay.
But the orgasm that you'll get with these supplements is the best that you'll get until you get there.
So this is going to get you there temporarily until you get there mentally all the way.
So my goal, these products are helping women physically be able to reach their greatest level of pleasure.
Okay.
But now I'm working on a course app that is going to help women mentally and spiritually reach that level as well, so that the energy within them it actually can can bubble up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because there's just so much that women go through, and men go through the same, but I can only really speak about women. So the women, we have so much doubt. We have so much shame. We have so much worry. We convince ourselves of a lot of creative hypotheticals.
Our mind is clouded and we're judging our own selves.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of, I guess, makes it hard for a female to get to that point, the big O,
Right.
as you explained, because of everything else that's going on in our brains.
So there's so many components that on like feminine traits and masculine traits that are just out of whack.
So what about women who feel like they feel that they have come to that point in sex of the big O, and maybe that's just what they feel. How do a person know, like, in your world, how can a person know? And I say your world because you've evolved. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, you're there. So if a person is satisfied with just getting into bed with they partner, and not just somebody just from outside, but somebody that they've been with, and they're doing their little foreplay, they're having it going on, and then they both come, and then they're like, okay, good, that's it. But what if they haven't reached that oh yet? What is some things that you prepare or try to get a woman to understand of how to get herself there, or some
it's a good
advice
question.
or whatever?
So a few things. Vulnerability is scary. It's so scary for a woman to be vulnerable. And it takes a very strong man within his divine masculinity to help a woman get there. He has to be able to stand firm when she's flailing out in her emotional self.
Okay.
Because women are emotional.
We are.
We are very emotional, and it's the beauty of us because our emotions teach people how to be better. We're showing you where you are being flawed.
Right.
And your flawedness is making me feel discomfort. So I'm going to be a little emotional
about it.
Yes. So most of the time it's a battle. It's like, well, and it's anger, it's hate, it's a lot of hurt, it's a lot of projecting your pain on the other partner. So a big part of knowing that you are about to reach or have reached orgasm is when you are able to be grounded.
Okay.
You are able to stand in your vibration and not allow anyone else to take you out of your divinity. Like, if you were to be like, oh, okay, I'm not a fan of you. And I'd be like, I'm not a fan of you. Like, you get back and you going back and forth. Or I could have just been like, that's okay.
Right.
It's all right. But really, truly mean it. Not just say the words. Because a lot of people can talk the talk, but they don't know how to apply their message and their words to actually have impact.
Okay.
So you can feel it. And when women are spiritual, women are energetic beings. Like,
our intuition is really strong.
Yes. I saw a post and it was like the man protects the woman in the physical realm, but the woman protects the man in the spiritual realm.
And I believe that.
Because we are closer connected. You know what I mean? Because we mature quicker.
Yes.
And that's most of the reason why. So I think a woman has to really work on her attitude. She has to really work on her hate, on her anger, on her pain, on her jealousy, on her guilt, on her anything. She has to really work on that and want to get beyond that so that she's basking. Like, I want people to see me and be like, wow, she lives orgasmically. Orgasmically meaning like, I'm just always in a good mood. I'm always happy. I'm always like letting life unfold in front of me and not feeling any type of way with what's unfolding.
Right.
I'm going through life enthusiastically and just appreciative and appreciating the beauty and the naturalness of like nature.
Right.
And like just being in awe about little things and not using my mind to think,
right,
but using my mind to receive and to imagine and to create and to brainstorm. Like those,
just
like,
happy, just being happy and excited. Just
I get chills, living my life like that.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I have days where I'm processing,
right?
So I have to be down,
right?
I can't always be on, but when I'm down, it's not miserable. I'm not sad. I'm accepting this down moment so that I can transform into my next phase. Right? So a lot of people, they are really hard on themselves. They don't show any self-compassion. They don't, boost themselves up. When they look in the mirror, they're looking for things that's wrong instead of things that are right.
Right.
Instead of being like,
I mean, because negativity always wins. It outweighs the positive.
It feels better to be toxic than it does to be nothing. So people are going to continue to be in those toxic cycles and those miserable, low vibrational states because that's better than feeling nothing at all and sitting with their thoughts and their pain and their trauma.
Right. Right. So I like, as far as feeling that and being toxic, what is some advice from you to people who are stuck into that? Because it is a cycle where people just know nothing but toxic. Sometimes they don't even realize that they are toxic or gravitating to toxic situations. So, like, what would be advice from you? What advice would you give to somebody who is like going through toxic? Maybe they don't know that they are, but maybe if they hear some toxic things, it'll bring them to that point.
Okay, so like some simple toxic things that people don't realize they do is when people are talking, they don't believe them.
Automatically.
Like they'll say something and you automatically don't believe them. It is so toxic. It's like, what does that do for you?
Right.
What does you finding that they're caught them in a lie? What does that do for you? Even if they're like, yeah, I went to Harvard and I graduated top of the class, and in your head you like, this nigga lying. It is like, or it's like, even if they're like, oh yeah, I had to stop by the store and pick up some extra stuff, before I came home. And it's like, no, you didn't. Like, you're just constantly not believing people just because it's fun in your brain.
It is like, I'm laughing so hard because I know people like
that's so draining.
It's draining. It's like to the point where you be like, just get away from me. I don't even want to be around you no more because everything about you is just negative.
Yep.
How can you live life being negative?
Yeah.
Like, why are you living life being negative?
Yeah. It's common.
And I mean, and it's trauma. It's sure it's definitely trauma. It stems from something. Somewhere the person was misguided, misleaded, or something, but like mistreated. But like you said, going back to the conversation earlier, when do you want that change?
Yeah. So my advice, and it's big, and I actually just went through this for 2 whole years. Hibernation. Literally stop doing things to stimulate you externally. Stop trying to go out. Stop trying to, travel all the time. Stop leaving your silence, your solitude, and really get to the root. You know what I mean? When you're sitting by yourself and you have to be with yourself, you have time to reflect. You have time to listen to yourself. You have time to create. You have time to, read. You have time to journal. Think, all these things. That's really going to help you heal and evolve into a better version of yourself. But a lot of people are very uncomfortable sitting by themselves in silence because it's not silent. Even when they're watching TV, their brain is going.
Yes.
It's going. But you're not even like watching to get the message in which your spirit guides are trying to give to you. You know what I mean? Like everything that comes to you is a message. Like, there's something you can receive in every conversation with somebody because they are brought to you to give that to
give
you.
That message to you.
So you want to listen curiously, and ask questions. And
listen to learn.
Listen to learn. And I tell people this, if somebody says something that upsets you, that's because you think it's true. And you have to get to the root as to why you think it's true or why it made you upset or why you feel attacked. Because if it wasn't true, you wouldn't have felt
You
the
wouldn't
tag.
have felt the tag.
If a stranger walked up to you and said, your outfit is hideous, you'd be like, girl,
Right.
it will roll off
brush
your
it
shoulder.
off. Exactly.
But let somebody you really care about say it to you,
You're going to be like, what the fuck?
it's going to hurt.
And then you're going to look at yourself like,
And
is
you're going
it?
to be like, damn.
Second guessing and questioning
Like,
yourself.
oh man, I shouldn't have wore this. Oh, I look ugly. You know, it's just gonna be a spiral effect of negativity. So I really preach to women to take time to get to know themselves, because you don't know yourself. A lot of women think they know themselves, but if they did, they would be where they want to be.
In life.
Yeah.
And I was one of those women who thought I knew myself, and I felt like I was lost for a long time. And I still feel like I'm finding myself, to be honest with
Absolutely.
you. I'm still searching. I'm still learning new things about myself. There's some things that's coming to me right now, within the last few months, about myself that I didn't even know existed. And it's scaring me, because I'm like, wait a minute, where did this come from? Like,
Growth.
what is going on? And even like as far as the things that I used to do. So like a lot of people like to pass judgment on you. And you know, they feel like everything is fake now, or she this or she's that. And it's like, no, it's nothing fake about me. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago.
And that is something that people ruin themselves about. Like the people who are like, oh, you changed. You didn't change. And
you
that's why
didn't
you're
change,
still
and
miserable.
you're the fucking problem.
Yes.
I'm not the fucking problem. Yes, you're right. I did change.
Thank you for noticing.
Thank you for noticing that. I appreciate you for noticing that, because I don't want to be the person that I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm happy I'm a different person now. You know, and I'm ready to even open up more doors to be different in the next couple more years.
And you will be. And you're going to keep everything that you do while being that version of you is true. It's important and it's valid. You know, we like to think like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, you know, back in the day when I was a different version of myself. But you had to do all the things you
to get to where you are now.
Exactly.
That's why I don't regret anything that I've ever done.
Nope.
At all. I mean, and you know, and I had to accept that, because that was something that pried on me. And was one of my flaws, is that I used to have guilt of feeling like I wish I shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z, or I should have done this differently. But I had to sit to myself and think like, you know what? If you didn't go through all of this that you've been through now, you probably wouldn't be where you are now.
Yeah.
Because I had to get through things and do things to get to where I am now. And I'm not finished yet, baby.
No.
I'm not finished, y'all. It's
tell.
only up from here. It is. And I'm ready for it. Like, I am so ready. But my time will come when it does.
Yep.
So if you feel like I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago, good. I thank you for noticing that, because I'm not the same person I was a year ago.
No.
So
like literally, I mean, maybe even a week.
Maybe.
It just depends. And I think a lot of people have to be comfortable with change, because that is something that's uncomfortable, because people know with change comes that discomfort, and we just don't like feeling
discomfort. Exactly.
So we're already projecting that. You know what I mean? But like I say, living orgasmically means accepting everything that unfolds in front of you.
I want to live orgasmically. How do you say it?
Orgasmically.
Orgasmically.
Yes.
I want to live orgasmically.
But it's
Sci-fi, do you want to live orgasmically?
Practice. It's just practice, you know. And I tell people, like, okay, so healing, obviously, it's not you don't get a certificate.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of it, where you reach the point where you're like, oh, I made it.
Right.
Nigga, we made it. No,
nigga,
we did not.
We're not. We're working on it.
I take that we're not back, because it all depends on how you show up every moment.
Yes.
Because there has been moments where you have been completely healed. You have probably helped other people heal. You have said things that have really penetrated people at a soul level, where it has catapulted them into something different, you know? So every moment you can choose to show up as your healed self or your hurt self. And that is just going to prove to you who you are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so every moment I stop and breathe.
Your healed self and your broken self, or your hurt self,
whatever.
I should say.
Anything.
Yes.
Broken, hurt, traumatized, whatever.
Right.
But when you get into a scenario that you've been in before, and you instantly respond or react in the way that you used to, you won't grow. You have to pause, breathe, and be like, okay, I'm gonna do something different. Because when I tell you, when I first got into real love with my partner, I was cussing him. I was crazy. I would throw shit. I never even seen this side of me.
Oh my gosh.
I would get so angry over nothing. But in me, it felt real. It felt so serious. It felt like, no, you can't do, like, almost like there's a tiger. And I have to, defend myself. Girl, you are safe. Ain't nobody trying to kill you. Nobody is trying to kill you. But when you're vulnerable with someone and you allow yourself to be open, you're raw.
Yeah.
So you're going to get triggered in ways you've never been triggered before. And your initial response is going to be your trauma response. So I had to work on that.
Yeah.
And that was something I was not playing about, because this man is too good to me.
Right. To be treating him like that.
Yeah. To still be like yelling at him like he's some little boy.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, how can I
what can I do differently?
And
before I lose this nigga.
all it took was me breathing.
Just taking a moment.
Taking a moment to breathe and do something different.
Yeah. And that's hard, though. It sounds easy, but it is hard.
I'm glad you know that. And people who actually be working on themselves.
No, listen, we know it is not fucking easy, because I've been put in a couple situations recently where I had to step back, take a deep breath, and be like, you know what? I'm just going to go this way, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And it helped me. Yeah. And I actually went home to my husband like, babe, guess what I did today? I didn't feed the fire. I was not feeding the fire. I walked away. I feel like a big girl. But you know what? It makes you feel good. It does. It makes you feel good to not just...
To lose yourself.
Yes.
To lose control. To get ugly.
And I say, why am I allowing another person to change
your vibration?
The way I feel.
Once you realize
won. I let you win when I allow you to let me change how I feel or my vibration or whatever the case may be. You've won, and I don't want nobody winning over me. I'm the winner.
Yeah,
that's how I had to look at it that way.
It sounds so simple or like stupid, allowing words coming out of somebody's mouth to affect your entire being. Like, when you think about that,
how?
It's like, why? How? It's not even necessary. So, like, coming to a point where you just want better, want more, want different. Like, I am just now coming into the fullness of myself. I was not allowing the fullness of me to be present because I was confused. Like, I didn't know who to present. You know, like going through all these phases and these stages and these changes of versions of me. You know, it's like, okay, that version of me died. I need to grieve that version of me because I was her for so long.
Right.
And she helped so much. She helped me get to where I'm at, and she went through so much for me to be the woman that I am today. But I don't act like her. I don't think like her. I don't talk like her. I don't even own the trauma that she went through. That's not mine.
Right.
So now this new energy of me is manifested because my thoughts at that time, it created who I am today. That's how I know I'm that bitch now.
Right.
Because I've worked on my thoughts. So the thoughts that I'm having now, I just can't wait to see who's coming next.
Yeah.
Because my thoughts now are so, like, I'm okay with someone listening in on my thoughts. That's how beautiful they are. That's how, zen my thoughts are. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yes.
A lot of people would not be okay with someone listening in on their thoughts.
No, because a lot of evilness is going through their head. A lot of bad, just
stuff that they can't control.
They can't control, and it's not. You just have to be able to overcome that.
Yeah, and at one point you're gonna be like, I remember when I used to stress out about. I remember when my mind used to always think about, and then eventually it just doesn't do that anymore because you've made the practices and done the work to not be there.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. So I was looking at this. What is the tincture?
Yes. So the
This
pills,
says hummy.
now the herbs that are used to make these, I soak those herbs in rum and honey, and I let it sit under the sun and just absorb all of that power. And I
natural.
stir in my intentions, and I say all the things that their sex is going to be like and what you're going to feel. And I just put all of that energy into it.
Okay.
So that is a elixir that does what the pills do, but times 10.
Wow.
Amplifies it, kind of like more rapid results. So that one, I mean, it don't even make sense. It don't even make sense why that do what it do. And I get high off my own supply, obviously.
This is the love potion.
That's the love potion, the orgasm potion.
The big O.
Yes.
Rapid enhancement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that bad boy.
You
out.
can drop it in your wine and your drink. You can put it on your tongue, let it sit for a little bit so it can really like ooze through you. You can just throw it in your mouth. I mean, whatever you want to do with it.
Right.
But it's rum and honey and the herbs, and it's so powerful. And I wanted something because a lot of people don't take pills.
Yes.
But a lot of people also want to be a whole problem, and they want to take both at the same time. Me.
I almost choked up on what you said both at the same time.
Yes.
So that's a problem.
I take 2 to 3 droppers of this, and then I'll take 2 to 3 pills of that. And I take this daily. Like, I just use this as my part of my every morning
routine supplement.
Yeah, because it's good for just balancing your hormones and giving you in a good mood and just making you feel orgasmic, not just in a bedroom, but just in life. Like, you have more energy. You have like a desire to be sensual.
Gotcha.
And it just makes you feel good. So a lot of women who aren't even having sex take the supplements because it makes them live orgasmically throughout their day. And when they masturbate or do their self-play, you know, it's just as
a little bit enhanced, maybe.
Absolutely, because you're not all in your head.
Okay.
It don't take you long to get aroused.
Okay.
You don't have to, do too much because your sensitivity is heightened.
Gotcha.
So it just makes it a better, more smooth experience.
I'm gonna have to
I got that for you.
Oh, you did?
Yes, that one's yours. Mine is in my purse.
I'm gonna have to cut this off because I'm gonna have to experience this.
Yes, hubby gonna be really happy.
Really happy. So give people your handle before we wrap things up. Where can they reach out to you at? Okay. Social media, websites, etc.
So, She Orgasms everything. www.sheorgasms.
She Orgasms.
She Orgasms. Our Instagram, She Orgasms. It's litty. I mean, really read my captions because I'm really giving y'all some good juicy.
No, she really is.
I mean,
you really are, because I'll be looking at them captions like, damn. I love the videos with the peach, and then you got the honey rolling down the peach. It looks like a whole
There's so much going on
there, and it's just so pretty.
It's inappropriate.
It is, but it's a good inappropriate. Is that a thing? A good inappropriate.
I like that.
Yes, it's a good inappropriate.
That is definitely what we represent.
Yes.
And yeah, everything is She Orgasms. Our Facebook, we have a Facebook group called I Am She, where we kind of just, share things and talk about things. So it's a really bomb group of women.
Okay. I wasn't following you on that one.
Probably not. It's a little ducked off. People don't really find it because it's not She Orgasms.
Okay.
It's I Am She.
I Am She. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it does have She Orgasms in it now.
Okay.
But yeah, you can find me at all of those places. You can
order. How can we get this?
You can order on Instagram, on the website. You can also, if you live in Charlotte, there's local places you can pick them up. And we are on the university side. So Urban Skin Solutions over here has it. The Charlotte Wholesale Supplement Store has it. Cream and Cocoa in South Charlotte, they have it. And V-Spa carries it as well. Okay. Where they do the yoni steams and stuff.
Yes. Soon to be in the Zen Room. We're going to be having a discussion about that. So soon, Zen Room will be carrying She Orgasms products.
Yes, it will change your life. You really don't notice what you're missing out on until you try something different, try something more. I know a lot of women say, I don't need it. My man don't got no complaints, blah, 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 blah. But it's really not about fixing anything. It's about taking you to a place that you can realize that you're deserving of more.
It's enhancement.
It's simply enhancement.
Think of it like when you're just barefaced, you know you're beautiful with no makeup on, but when you put makeup on, you're enhancing your beauty.
But also, I really don't even like enhancement, because it's not even enhancing you. It's taking away all the things that's blocking you from being yourself.
Okay.
You know, because we are orgasmic in our natural state. We just have a lot of chaos and a lot of mental noise and a lot of body pain and a lot of body trauma that's blocking us from experiencing it.
Okay.
Because there's been times where people have experienced the orgasmic sensations through other things, you know, by being completely present and having a good time. And like, that's why they love certain things. Like they love traveling. They love watching, you know, movies or whatever it is that brings them that like, ooh. So like these supplements are actually just breaking away all of your
The blockers.
debris. Yeah. All of your
All the
blockers,
blockers.
to get you to unfold in an orgasmic way that makes you realize you're more than just this body.
The body. I got you. That makes sense. I love it. I
This was
absolutely
so
love
good.
It was. We got to do this again
Absolutely.
and get a little bit more detail.
Absolutely.
Well, y'all make sure y'all tune into the Zen Room. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to my page, the Zen Room. Instagram, the Zen Room. That's THEE Zen Room, as well as all other platforms, the Zen Room. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
All the time, anytime.
Hey, jumping off the porch instead of building credit scores. Hey, fuck door explorer, we explore donuts. Broken homes where I'm from, ain't no fucking white swaps. Got me fucked up, think I give a fuck by the pussy ass cop. Tryna feminize all the niggas now, cause they can't kill us all. Make me wanna spaz out like Saw. Where's Johnny? We ain't saw him. BBC, what they
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Zen Room. I want to thank Kay coming out as the special guest from She Orgasms. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram, and that was She Orgasms. Also, tune in every Thursday, 7 p.m. on my YouTube, the Zen Room, and all other podcast listening platforms. Thank you, guys.